Ron?
Hi, my name's Wes, KF4BSB on the forums, and I'm here with my son Rowan.
Hey.
And we're going to be doing an Uzi build for you guys. We're excited that you're here, and we're excited that you're going to follow along. This isn't a real quick build. It's going to take some time to do, but we'll be doing these installments as we can. So, for more information, what you can do is follow us along on our website at myuzibuild.weebly.com, and there'll be all kinds of neat links there, and we'll put the link up here in this video so that you can see it as well. With that being said, you know, the Uzi is an iconic weapon. If you were into action adventure movies at all in the 80s, everybody used an Uzi. Chuck used one, Arnold used one, and ever since then I've always wanted one. So we've secured a parts kit, and we're going to be building this parts kit with a new receiver, and we're going to take you through it step by step and show you everything that we do. You got anything you like to add?
Just that I've seen the Uzi, you know, it's appeared in a few different video games, Call of Duty, you know, stuff like that. But even through then, it's still a very good weapon. That's all I've got to say.
It's still a very good weapon. It's been around for a long time. It was designed specifically for use in desert situations, so it's really good in harsh environments. And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take a look at the parts kit and tell you what we're going to be doing and kind of the order we're going to do things a little bit, and we'll go on from there. Our parts kit laid out with everything except the collapsible stock, and we'll be showing you that in just a moment, okay? But these are all the parts that come with the kit. Now this kit came from Numrich Gun Parts, and we'll give you a link for that as well. There's a link on the website, and we're going to look at these individually. Now this gun kit does come with a magazine. We'll go ahead and move that out of the shot. We don't need that anymore. It comes with the trigger group, and this is the lower trigger group. And if you take a look at this, and the reason why I like it so much, and I'm going to try to move it up just a little bit. Is that good in the shot? Okay.
Yeah, that's in the shot.
You can see it has the Hebrew characters still on it, and it has the giggle button. This was a fully automatic weapon at one point. Of course, you have your safe, your semi-automatic fire, and your full auto. Inside you can see all the fire control components are intact, including the fully automatic sear. Now that fully automatic sear is going to have to be replaced with a semi-auto. And if we do this, you can see it move a little bit. I don't know how well you can see that, but you should be able to see it moving up and down. So there's the fire control group along with the safety and magazine release and all this good stuff. I'll go ahead and get these front hand grips out of the way. These are the original hand grips. These have seen some action. I don't know if they've seen military action or what, but they are used. They're not abused. We're going to try and clean these up. If we can't clean them up, there is an American company that makes these, and these replacement parts, and they look identical. So I want to keep this as original as possible, but I wouldn't mind changing out these four grips. So we'll get those out of the way. Next piece here that I'm going to pick up and move, this is your cover. This goes over the top of the receiver, and we're going to be doing a modification on that. It is a ratcheting cover, and this goes back to this being a open bolt firing system. So to ratchet open, and according to US law, we can't have that, so we got to remove that ratchet. Not too hard to do, and we'll be showing you how to do that here in just a little bit. This is the bolt that came with the kit. Now this is a fully automatic bolt. It's illegal to use this to build a fully automatic weapon. It's also illegal to cut this in order to make it a semi-auto. So basically we have to get rid of this, and or at least it's not usable. We can keep it, but the new receiver we're going to be building is going to have some it's going to have a blocking bar in it, so that we won't be able to use this receiver in the gun that we're building. And here's the spring that goes in that weapon, and as a matter of fact, we will be able to use this. We have to modify it. We have to take this end off, but we will be able to use this spring along with our new bolt. Now, here comes the receiver parts. As you can see, there are two big sections of receiver missing that we're going to have to replace, and I'll talk to you a little bit about my thoughts on replacing receiver sections. This center section here has the lug that the pistol grip attaches to. It has a magazine catch and the extractor on the inside. I'm going to be removing these and taking them off, grinding these off, and actually using the original pieces on the new receiver that we're going to be constructing for it. And that's why they include this piece, is just so you can get those parts off of it. Here is the rear piece of the receiver. Now it has intact the sights. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's got the sights in it. It's got the latch, and it's got the flip-up sight, 100 or 200. Also, on this side, it has the Hebrew markings and the serial number that was original to this weapon. Here's the mounting hole for the collapsible stock. We're actually going to be welding this piece in to our new receiver. Okay, so there's this part right here. Now here is the front receiver part, and it still has the sight on it. That's a type A sight. It has the barrel trunnion in it as well. Here are the threads on the front. The barrel goes in, and then this barrel nut screws onto the front, and there's teeth on this barrel nut that engage this lever that'll keep it on. Can you see that?
No, it's like everything got like 10 times darker.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Just leave it alone.
Okay.
Now, you can also see the weld points where this trunnion was welded into the receiver, and you can also see the bayonet lug on the bottom. So hopefully what we're going to be doing is we're going to be welding this piece directly onto our new receiver, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. Also in the kit, you do have some fasteners. This fastener here is for holding the pistol grip onto the frame. You've got some smaller fasteners here that came in it, things for swivels and all kinds of neat little things. But that's the entire kit. Now, having gone through the pieces of the kit, and this kit looks like it's pretty good, I also want to show you just very quickly the collapsible stock that come with it. So my son will lay that up there, and there is the collapsible stock, and of course it be bolted to the back of the gun. That's the button to let that, you squeeze here and this folds up, and then you push this button and it will fold under. Let me see if I can get this so you can see it. Fold under the weapon, and so when it comes back out, it locks into place. Okay, so we've got all the parts, but what I wanted to talk to you about for a second was the receiver. And you've got a couple of different ways to go when you're making a receiver. And the way we're going to go may or may not be the way you're going to go. When this was milled, when it was cut, there were two large sections missing. And so there's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can buy a replacement section, which is basically just a straight piece that goes between here and here, and you weld these two pieces back on. I like that idea. These actually were cut very nice. We can actually work with those cuts and weld it back up. The other way you can do it is you can buy a receiver flat, which is nothing more than a flat piece of metal that has all these ribs and things already stamped in it. It already has the holes mounted at the bottom for these to be put into. Already has the holes to attach the trunnion and things like that. And it's a good idea to use it if you've got a way to bend it. Now, here's my concern. If you look, this is not a flat piece here. It's not so simple as just taking two flat pieces and bending one of them up. And if you've ever built an AK-47, you know you can do that. It's very simple. AK-47 is just a U-shaped piece of metal. The Uzi Receiver, though, is a little different. It's not just a U-shaped piece of metal. If you look, right here it's got this detail bent into it. I don't know a good way to do this myself. Now some people out there, there's one guy who's actually a professional die maker for bending metal, built one of these and folded it up and it looked great, but I don't have those resources, and I also don't have a 20-ton press in order to do it. So my options were a little limited, and I wanted to make sure to keep these straight. Based on the quality of this kit and how well it's put together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a complete receiver shell. And what it is it'll be a complete length receiver, and it'll look pretty much just like this. But it's just going to be an empty shell, and I've got a link to D&D Sales on the website. You can go take a look at it and go to D&D Sales, and they have got the receiver. Now the receiver is an FFL item. It'll have to be transferred through your local gun dealer, or if you hold an FFL, of course you can buy it directly from them. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take their receiver, and I'm going to cut off the front to match this piece. I'm going to cut off the rear to match this piece, and I'm going to put it together. So I'm going to be using a complete receiver from D&D Sales. I'm going to cut the front to match this piece. I'm going to cut the rear to match this piece, and then we're going to weld them back up. Now what I like about that receiver from D&D Sales is if I do run into any problems, if there's problems with these parts, I can always just pull these parts out, weld them up into the new receiver. Or if I don't want to use these parts, if these parts were damaged or too hard to get out, I could always buy a weld up kit which has every part in it I need to weld up a completed receiver. Be a brand new receiver, brand new from scratch. Now, as we've talked about these items, there's a couple of things I haven't talked about, like whether or not it's legal for you to build your own weapon, which it is, what the laws are concerning this weapon, which I'll mention briefly as we're doing the build. But all that information is out there, and I invite you to look it up. If you want to do this yourself, it'll be a real fun build, but you do need to know what the laws are, specifically parts count and what your state laws are and those things. And I'll have some links to that. One of the best links I think you could go to would be UziTalk.com and take a look on the forums and see what's going on out there. So with that said, we've taken a look at all the parts, and as you can see, my hands are filthy from handling these. These are gritty and dirty and they're grimy, and they need to be cleaned, and we're going to do that with some chlorine-free brake cleaner. And I'm not going to post pictures of me scrubbing parts with a brush and parts cleaner. That would be kind of boring, but that's how we'll clean these up. We'll get them just as clean as possible, and then we'll store them in some plastic with a little bit of WD-40 to make sure that they don't rust in the meantime. Now, one of the things that I did want to do is I wanted to show the first step to getting this compliant with the law, and we can start our first modification. Now, I don't have the new receiver yet. It has been ordered. It's actually at my FFL, but I haven't picked it up yet. And we'll be talking about why I haven't picked it up yet, and those things when we start the receiver build. I want to be a little bit careful, but anyway, we'll move on, and I'll show you the very first mod we're going to do. So this will be part one in the Uzi build.
You're on.
Okay, so here we are, and this is the first modification we're going to be doing, and we're doing this to the receiver cover. Now, here's the catch, and it's literally the catch. This receiver cover was used on a fully automatic weapon, and because this fully automatic weapon fired from an open bolt, this ratchet's open. Well, in the United States, we can't have that. All the weapons must fire from a closed bolt. So the first thing we got to do is take out this ratcheting system. If you turn this over and take a look at it, you can see the ratcheting teeth in here. You can also see the spring, and you can see a little spring down here. May need to get you to zoom in on that. That kind of activates the ratchet.
Okay.
See that little silver loop down here at the bottom. So what we're going to do is my son's actually going to go through the process of taking this thing off, and we'll show it to you. So if you can zoom back out a little bit. First thing you need to do is you need to take the screw out of this charging handle.
Right here.
And it might take a little work, but it'll come.
It might be a little big.
Of course, that's a big, long screwdriver too, so use a shorter one if you got it. That's the one we grabbed.
Good Lord.
A lot of dirt and grime in there holding it in place. Maybe we should have cleaned it first. But there we go. Alright, so we got the screw out.
Short screw, but took me a lot of muscle to get it out.
Now turn it over.
Does not make any sense.
Now what? That plate just going to come off. There you go. Now let's get a zoom in on this real quick. Okay, so what we've got to do is we've got to remove this little spring. Can you see that? And then we got to remove this little. That's called a pawl, P-A-W-L. And that's what actually grabs the little ratchets. And so that actually will fall out. Boop.
Didn't see it until it fell.
So that's been removed. Okay, and you can see the part right there. There's what it looks like. And it just fell out. And then I'll let my son go ahead and pull that spring out. Easier said than done. Put it down there so they can see it.
Just the camera.
See if he gets it.
You probably won't.
Oh, wait, there it is. There you go.
There we go. Now, if you can see this spring, it kind of hooks around and it clamps around, so it was a little bit tough to get off. I was going to let him see how well he could do with it. Now we can get rid of the pawl, we can get rid of the spring. Those are not going to be used anymore. You can actually trash those. And now this is going to be reassembled and hooked back up to our receiver cover.
If I can get that spring back. There we go.
Turn the whole thing over. There you go.
There.
Kind of hard to do doing it so that the camera can see it. Other way.
Trying to
Cross through it.
yeah.
What he's doing, turning it the wrong way. If you turn it the wrong way until you just feel it click, then you start turning it the correct way. It'll help keep it from cross threading. It won't guarantee that it won't cross thread, but it will definitely help.
Maybe if I can get it into the charging handle first.
And this is my son's first build, so bear with him.
Nope. It's not one to go.
Would you like for me to do it?
Sure. I'm gonna laugh if you can't get it.
And there you go. Charging handle's on. This is no longer a ratchet cover. Goes back, slides right up, and as you can see, the spring's still attached. The pawl is missing, and so is the little spring that goes to it. So there's your first step. First piece has been modified. We're going to get busy cleaning up the rest of them, and then we'll come back and we'll show you what to do for step number 2. We hope you'd enjoyed this, and again, please check in at www.myuzibuild.weebly.com. Make sure you sign up for the blog, and every time there's an update, you'll automatically know. Thanks.